All right, jumping back in. This is the Firebase configuration. We're going to actually go through each of these other nav items in other videos. So Firebase configuration, authentication. This allows you to log into an app or set up login credentials for an app. User and registration. This is where you create tables or collections for your database, and they can connect to your database, and then animations. So these are sort of more advanced tabs that we'll get into in later videos, but we'll go back to the UI builder for now. So here you have your UI builder. Basic elements on the left panel, layout elements here, base elements here, and then UI elements here. And how we build in Flutter and also in FlutterFlow is we typically always start with a column and then a row. Columns are vertical, rows are horizontal. In order to build something like this structure, I use containers. It allows you to apply a background color to them, so you can build almost anything. If it's not a container, then a card allows you to add elevation, which is very cool. And then you can also add sort of simple dynamic elements like list views and grid views. And then these are two newer ones, which are spacers and dividers, which is also very beneficial whenever creating a UI from a drag and drop builder. So this is the left side panel. You can also change device here and toggle your device here. On this right side panel, your name function, this is what will turn up in the widget tree. So we can actually name this, instead of column, like a generic name, you can change the name to header, or here, header, boom. And then it'll show up here. So we have our header column here. This can be very beneficial if you're passing off a project or working in tandem with somebody. You can also set up parameters and backend requests. Parameters are similar to overrides in Sketch if you come from Sketch or a design program. Like, just think of setting up a symbol or component and then being able to type a different value into that component instead of using a button as a component and then changing the value from submit to create account, something like that. Those are parameters. So you can add them, and you can also create backend requests. We will get into that in some later videos. Right now we're just going to go through sort of the inspector panel on this right side and what the elements do. So you can set your padding. If you come from a web development background, you would think margins and padding. In Flutter, there's no such thing as margins, so we use padding to differentiate the space around an object. So this card actually doesn't have padding because it's the row. I think it's that's the stack that we're selecting right now. So I think this row has the padding. Maybe the card. Could be the list view. There it is. I knew we were getting padding from somewhere. The list view has the padding. And that padding is assigned inside of this list view. So whereas margins are sort of outside. So if we created this card with padding, it would be applied to this stuff inside of it rather than the space around the card. Technical terms, sorry about that. So that's padding. Alignment will apply differently in different scenarios. So you can also just hover over these eyes whenever you want to get a little more info. But it depends on if the parent element, how the parent element is associated, if it's expanded or collapsed, and then that will allow you to either move this horizontal alignment, left or right, and the vertical alignment the same way. So maybe we can create a new page and I can show that off to you. But this, when you don't have anything selected, you have the base scaffold or page elements, and you can create a background here. You can also specify a safe area. This is just like for iPhone 10s, 11s. The safe area is 34 pixels or 44 pixels on the top and 34 pixels on the bottom, which is basically just that bottom indicator bar in the top time bar. So you can associate that, or if you have custom backgrounds, then maybe you want that color to go above that, and so I disable it when I do that. But you don't have to create a custom top bar. They also allow you to create app bar properties and nav bar items here, and we can select that. I'm actually going to create a new page, and I'll go through all that stuff. So we have page 1 and page 2. I just created an account page, and this is where the page we'll be working on. So if you remember back in app settings, nav bar, right? We can toggle the nav bar on here. We can say show labels or not. I don't want to show labels. Transparent. I'm actually going to make my app bar dark. I'm going to select that. Selected icon color. Yeah, let's go ahead and make it primary. And then unselected, I actually want to make it a gray. Let's do that. Yeah, let's go back here. So this is our empty screen. Our background color, let's go ahead and set it to whatever value this is. You know what? Yeah, white. So in your color picker, you'll have your theme colors set up here for easy selection. You can also copy a hex code. So if you work from a design program like I do, I work in Sketch, actually, design all my apps in Sketch, and then I'll basically copy values just like I would for a website. Copy values from my Sketch file over to my FlutterFlow project. So, I can't copy components over, but I'll copy like hex values, shadows. I'll create the same shadow in FlutterFlow, et cetera, et cetera. So let's do that. And we're going to actually be creating this page next. I'm going to dive into that, but I just want to sort of go through what you can do, what the default values are for FlutterFlow. So this is the app bar properties. That's the top bar. So, you can change the color. We don't have to have primary. I like a white top bar. Most good clean apps have a white top bar, but our title is actually in white, so we need to change that to a darker. We can actually call this page account. So anytime that you drag an element over here, your text and properties will be over here. So text elements, text alignment, color, you can change the theme text style. So as I said earlier, that was you sort of create your theme, your typography in your theme here, and you can apply it in the builder in your top bar, but also other places as well. So let's go ahead. We could change this to heading 3 if we wanted to. We're going to change it back to body 1, and actually body 1. But we're not actually going to use an account bar here. We're going to use a custom one because on mine I have this overlap, and I want to sort of create this type of structure. So I'm going to jump up here, grab this background color, and jump back to FlutterFlow. So I don't want to show this. If you want to show the bottom nav bar, you could here. So you just toggle that on, toggle it off. What you'll do here is, you'll sort of associate the page with what element this is. So this one's home, and we can do home. Yeah, so we have this one. Let's go ahead and use that. Let's select a different active icon. What this will do is, so it already defaults to solid. So that's what I want to do, and that's our selected color. So that works. Page 1 will always be the actual home page. So maybe on this one we'll do account. So let's do a user. Oh, that's not how you spell user. Profile. Okay, there's that one. Oh, I want person. There. This one I want solid. There you go. Cool. All right. So that's when you say show this on the nav bar, it'll actually just automatically generate a new icon here. And like the home page would be page 1, right? This is what ours is. This is page 2. Or this is the second one that's on the bottom nav bar, but we actually don't need one because in our design, we don't have one. This screen will actually pop up when a user taps this avatar. So let's go ahead and remove this. And let's start building this section. So the way you'll start any page is you'll drag a column on. And then once you drag that column on, you'll want to drag a row. And then what I'll do is I'll drag a container here. And then in that container, I'll actually make it expanded because I want it to go full width. And the thing I love about containers, containers and cards have these attributes, and it's a background color. You know, like in a lot of my designs, I will change up a background color for a thing. And for columns and rows, we can't. We lose this attribute, but in Flutter we do have this container which allows us to change the fill color and set a border if we would like. You can also use a card, and then with a card you can also set elevation. So if you need a drop shadow, use a card. But for this one, we also just want another, let's see, we want a column in here and then a row. Just like if you come from web development background, you know, very similar if you use Bootstrap or something. Row, column, you know, column, 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 or row. So it's similar, but the structure is slightly different in FlutterFlow or in Flutter in general. So here's our row. We have an X up here. And actually, let's go back to the widget tree. Let's select this container, and our height of this guy is 128. So let's go ahead and set that. 128. Okay. And the background color, let's go ahead and set that. Yeah, boom. All right. That's the background color. Let's go to the UI builder and let's select an icon, drag it in here. Obviously you can see that we need to do something with this. The icon's not in the top left corner, it's over here on the right. So what we can do is select the row. So I have the row selected in the widget tree, and let's go ahead and set a padding of 50 pixels, which will bring us down here. Then on the row, let's also do expanded. No, let's not do that. We don't need to do that. For this guy, let's do expanded. And then let's go ahead and make the horizontal alignment over there. Now let's do 28, and let's change this to close. Actually, no, there's a better close icon. Let's do this one. Slightly rounded corners. And then we don't want black necessarily. We want the secondary color. All right, cool. So this is the first column, and it's within a container. And what this allows us to do is when we want to build more underneath here. So let's go ahead and drag another row down here. Boom. And in that row, we want a circle image. All right. So here, let's go ahead and start. Let's do the center. Boom. Let's with images, you can do a network. So you can set from variable, which is the parameter section that we had talked about before, or you could upload an asset. So when I'm actually doing this app, I would do it from a parameter because this is going to be dynamic. It's going to be the user's avatar, and I would set up the backend in order to do that. So let's go ahead and upload an image. Once you upload an image, it goes into this assets folder, and so you can select from your dropdown, which is super cool. Let's go ahead and wait for that. And let's see what we can do. Maybe, hopefully I set this up right. All right. So what we want to do is we actually want this guy to come down. So we may need to drag this row into this column. Let's see if we can do that. Oop. Sometimes FlutterFlow won't let you do this. We may need to recreate it. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Let's save our project because Yeah, we want this to overlap. Oh, that's not what we wanted. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and drag a row in here. Boom. Circle image. Boom. Hey, looky there. It's already working. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. We already have this avatar, so let's do that. And what we did was we expanded this guy. Okay, that makes it go full width. And then this is centered because we set it up in the row settings. Start, center, center. All right. Yeah, cross-axis alignment is center. All right. Perfect. That's awesome. So we actually need a text element next. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's drag another row in here. We need it underneath this. And going to bring a text in there. Boom. All right, so let's go ahead and just programmatically set this to 80 pixels down, and let's center this text, and then let's change the text to what I have. Tap the image above. Yeah, text 2 I think is going to work out fine. Let's go ahead and do DM Sans. Let's do that. Let's also change, so pop-ins. I just found out about this font DM Sans on Google, and I actually really, really like it. So I'm going to use that for my primary font family. And I'm just going to go in here and change these guys. Okay, cool. I don't want, light. I'm actually going to do this one normal. Do this one like semi-bold. We'll do this one 16. 18, yeah, that works. All right, these are just default. You can also override all of these in the UI itself. I'm just going to save that guy. Come back out. Perfect. Looks great. All right, now we need a label and an input. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's drag another row. Text. Let's go ahead and set the padding to 12. Oh, sorry. And 16. All right. We're going to do another row. And the way I create inputs is again with a container or a card. And then what I'll do is I'll drag this text field in there, but I can't necessarily edit all the values that I want to on the text field itself. So I'm going to, I'm going to create a container because this one has a background. So let's go ahead and drag that here, and then text field there. Boom. This guy we're going to make expanded again. There you go. But we don't want the height to be 100. We actually want it to be 60. And we don't want the background color to be that. We want it to be this. Let's go ahead. Is this input, alt? Yeah. All right. Let's just go in here. Boom. All right. Oh. Cool. And then the border color also has, well, that's a shadow. Just press enter. And then also, let's go to the widget tree because we want padding on this. So we're in this container. What we're going to do is we're going to set it on the row. And let's go ahead and set that for now. 4 actually. Let's do 8. Yeah. And let's undo that. The lock panel will make them all the same. And then unlocking it will allow you to edit each one individually. So on the left, I want 16, and then on the right, I want 16 as well. There you go. Cool. All right, container. I actually want a border radius, so I want it to be locked, and I'm going to set it to 8 pixels, and right there. Cool. So now on the container itself, this font, yeah, probably needs to change. So this one needs to be not body text 1, it needs to be body text 2, like that. And I want it to inset a little bit, so I'm going to select the container and set a padding. Let's do 12. Oh, no, that's not the right one. Let's do this one. 12, there it is. Let's actually do 16. Boom. All right. Cool, there's our first text element. Now on our design, we have 3 of these, and we're actually just going to take this and this. Well, I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy it. Boom. I'm going to take this guy, select and copy. All right, this guy I need to expand. Oh, yeah. Aha. That's what I need to do. Not just the text element, I need to get the row as well. Cool. All right, change email. This is actually change password. All right, and then the hint text actually needs to be new password. Yeah, let's do that as well. Label text, new password. Let's select this one. Let's do the same thing. What is ours? Email. Cool. Confirm email. Perfect. Then we have a dark mode switcher. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to copy this. Boom. Just going to, yeah, dark mode. This one we actually do want to have body text 1. We want to change the color to our dark. So let's do our secondary. All right, and we want a little more padding. So let's do 24 and 16. Ooh. Okay. Let's go ahead and do our 16 on the bottom too. Cool. Let's go to our UI builder. Let's go ahead and build that switch. So what we'll do is we'll take a container, we'll add it here. We're gonna make it 60. 60 width by, I think it's 32 height. Our border radius is going to be 16. Our background color is actually going to be white. And then our border color is going to be, well, let's go ahead and use this for now. See where that gets us. Hey, pretty close. Cool. Yep. Let's go ahead. Let's just set the padding at, let's go 160. Yeah. Nope. 180. Okay, cool. In this container, this is just a container, right? So that's that. Then we want a little card in here. So we're actually going to do a row, drop it in, and then we're going to do a little card, drop that in. And for the card, we're going to do it elevation 2, color white, and do we want a row? Okay, so what we need now is our switch, and the way we're going to actually create that is by dragging a button over here. Seems a little weird, but it is an action that we're going to actually make an action on. So we're going to, the fill color is white, which is good. Transparent color. We're going to actually make this 16 pixels on the border radius. Our button size is going to be 28 by 32. That's going to be the height. We need an elevation on this, so let's go ahead and do that. Boom. Okay, pretty close. I mean, hard to see white on white. Maybe we'll make this background slightly darker. There we go. Oh, no, that doesn't match that. Let's go ahead and make it this one. No, this one. There you go. Okay, so this white one, now we need it aligned left. So let's take the horizontal alignment and just go ahead and put it over to 8.5, -9. That works. Boom. Perfect. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and make this 56. Yeah, that's a little more even. All right. Last thing that we need to do is we need to create a button down here. So we have this big Save Changes button. So let's go ahead and create another row and a button. Brilliant, right? This button can expand, and then the row can have padding. How does that sound? Let's do this. Let's do 16. All right, cool. Also, this row okay, the button, we want actually our primary color. We don't need an icon. So by default, it has an icon. You can just remove it by pressing the X. Text color, we want white. There you go. Boom. And the text, I think we have save changes. So let's go ahead and save changes. Rock on. So there's a few ways to get to this to the bottom. One is by basically checking this. So center, I think this main axis, it's space evenly, which does that. Space around, space between. We don't want any of those. So we're actually just gonna, we want start actually. That's gonna just do all this content from the top down. On this border radius, we want 8 pixels. There you go. Elevation, we want 3. Let's do that. Cool. So that's one way, but since this doesn't take up the entire UI, what we're going to do is we're just going to, again, on this row, let's go ahead and set like 100 pixels padding. Okay, let's do 40. 140. Boom, perfect. Rock on, that's it. That's the screen in 28 minutes. Sorry, this took so long. But yeah, this is a general way of doing the UI. So, thanks for joining.